What's up, Holloway gang? Welcome back to the Let Me Holla at You podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Trey.
And I'm Katya, and we're here to bring you all the real talk on love, life, and relationships as usual. Today we have an awesome, juicy episode in store for you. We are bringing so many stories from you guys, our listeners, our friends, our family, and as well as some from the outside world of people that we don't know. But anyway, go ahead and grab your tea, have a seat, because it is tea time today. So keep listening, and thank you again for joining us on our podcast called Let Me Holla at You.
And while you got that tea, don't forget the crumpets, because you're going to need them.
That part.
Have you or someone you loved ever experienced a bad date that left you scarred for life? Well, you may be entitled to relive that trauma. Welcome to Dating Horror Stories, where, frankly, shit gets wicked.
All right, y'all, that was a lot of fun, but we're going to go ahead and jump right on into it now. We have a special treat for everybody. My lovely co-host is actually sharing one of his dating stories to start us off.
All right.
What you got?
So, I'm dating this girl. We've been together for a while, and we decided to go on this date, right? We go to separate high schools, not too far from each other, but far enough away to where it matters. So, my brothers really want to go to this basketball game. And of course, if anybody that has younger siblings know, if your little brothers want to go somewhere, as the older sibling, you're required to take them with you or go with them. Or if you want to do something, you got to take your little brothers with you. So, they want to go to the basketball game. I'm cool with it. I've never been to one of our basketball games. It wasn't really my thing. And I decided to take my girlfriend at the time there. So, mind you, my first relationship happened to be an interracial relationship as well. So, and that's important for you to remember as I tell the story, all right? So, we're at the game, and things are seemingly normal. We watched the girls' game, and, you know, we lost, which was normal for our school. We lost a lot. And so, we get to the guys' game, and, of course, our teams run out, and I'm, like, showing her my friends, you know, introducing her to her. And, of course, she's sitting on our home side. So, that's where I went to school. And our school at the time was brand new. We didn't even have a senior class, just freshmen through juniors. And all the kids that I went to school with, we had been in school together since elementary school. So I was pretty popular there. Everybody knew each other. So it's very much one of those things. I wanted her to know the people that I hung out with every day. So we're at the game, and we're just chilling, having a good time watching. You know, we're cuddled up. You know, we're having a good time, laughing, enjoying the scenery. And then the away team, mind you, before I even get into this, not her school, a completely separate high school that happened to be in our district as well. So the team runs out, and there's this guy that runs out that I guess that she knew, which is totally fine. Like, I'm not one of those super jealous guys. I was pretty confident in myself at this time, so I didn't worry about it. But as this guy runs out on the court, she screams like "Ah!" like screams to the point where everybody around us turns and looks at us and is staring at us. Now, peep that. This was several years ago. So if you think you get looks now in an interracial couple, imagine the looks that you got back then, especially being young in an interracial couple, right? So she does that, and while we're there, of course, everybody's looking at us. I didn't have, you know, I wasn't Mr. Macho and have all these girlfriends, like one girl at my school and dating her on the side. No, nothing like that. So no cheating scandal, no girls to be a secret of, but everybody knew I had a girlfriend. They never seen her, they never met her, but this is just like her first encounter with all the people that I hang out with every day.
She's yelling for some other guy.
Yeah, and so she like screaming for this guy. And so it got very awkward after that, and I'm sitting there and I'm just like, all right. And of course, after a while, I'm just like, I kind of get a little attitude about it because now I feel some type of way. And so I don't exactly remember how I came off or how I said it, but I know I can pretty much wear my emotions on my sleeve. So I know that I probably was giving her a little bit of a cold shoulder, and I had to have said something that made her upset because she was sitting there, and I noticed that she was starting to get very, very tense. And then all of a sudden, in the middle of the game, she gets up and just storms off, just walks away up the bleachers. And how our basketball court designed, when you walk into the school is this way. The home side's on the complete opposite side of the gym. So for you to get up, stump up the bleachers, and have to walk all the way around the track to go down the stairs to go out the front door.
I can only imagine.
Again, drawing a lot of attention. So, of course, I picked her up and I drove her there. So I'm like, where the hell is she going? Like, I totally picked you up and drove you here. So I get up and I try to, again, these are people that I see every day, teachers, friends, cousins, relatives, brothers. And so I get up, dust myself off, make sure I do it very suave-like and not draw any more attention. Go up the stairs and I follow behind her and I'm like, yo, where you going? What's going on? And so she's literally walking home, trying to walk home from my school. And so this is like literally a scene from The Young and the Restless. Cause I'm chasing this girl down the parking lot of the school. It's dark, it's cold, and I'm following her. We're arguing. I'm trying to get in front of her because, mind you, she had a whole head start. So when I finally do get in front of her, we're going back and forth. I apologize, which honestly, I don't know what I said or how I came off, but I honestly don't feel like it was something I really had to apologize for that much. I don't think it was. I'm not one to snap in public like that. So, but again, not trying to unjustify her feelings. It could have been
You
very,
still tried
very
to
important.
apologize, yeah.
Right. We apologize. We kind of make it through, and then the rest of the night goes, and we go home. Or I think actually at that moment I texted my brothers and I was like, hey, I'm going to take her home really quickly. I'll come back and get y'all. Because it was close enough to where I could do that and come back and it wouldn't be a big deal. So I think I ended up taking her home and we talked about it on the way, sat in the driveway, talked about it for a while, but that's the end of it. That
sounds like so much fun. Yeah.
Right.
I feel like especially as a high schooler, like what matters to you most is how everyone's looking at you and perceiving you.
Right.
Like, even, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, especially when I got to like junior and senior year of high school, I really just didn't care. Like, I had so much else going on and I was getting ready for so much else in my life and like my future that I could not care. I just did not. But I definitely do remember freshman year, it was definitely one of those things, especially going into high school, like, it does kind of matter like what people perceive of me,
And
like, or it mattered to me.
in perspective, too, I'm a junior at this time,
that.
so I'm basically a senior in my school. There's no senior class. I'm a junior. I'm student body president. I was always starring as a male role in the musical, so I'm very much on the forefront of the school all the time.
Yeah.
And so to have this attention put on me, and again, everybody was looking. I saw people talking about it. I know how it works. It was even brought up the week of school prior to that game. Like, someone was like, yo, I seen you with your girlfriend. Yeah.
Oh, so it was brought up after.
Y'all had a little,
Oh,
even adults, like one of my teachers, like one of my male teachers that I'm really close with, he was like, yeah, man, that looked kind of crazy. Y'all, you good? I was like, it was one of those things. But I will say, and I'll leave this, we can leave the story here.
I have a little.
Say your piece, and then I'll say my little thing.
My little piece real quick is actually from my point of view, if like a guy had, I'm just like thinking reciprocating, right? If a guy had done that to me on a date, I'd have been like, oh, okay, and I would have left, because this is something that's come up in our relationship even before too, is I hold myself to a very high regard, like in how I carry myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, it's almost it's not even almost, it's a respect thing. And I don't know if this is like the little bit of a Leo in me coming out. I'm sorry to bring it up, but I am a Leo, okay? I try to think I'm one of the good ones, okay? But I don't want you yelling for some other girl, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't care who unless she's your sister or your mom, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need you yelling for some other girl like that when I'm here with you, especially, like, when you don't go to the same school, you know what I mean? Like,
right. And
the guy wasn't even from her school, so I get it completely out of it. I would have been tight pressed. I'd have been like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna just go try and meet somebody else to
didn't say her name or anything, but just to give her the benefit of the doubt, too, like, she was young, I was young, and that was a good moment for us to talk it through and learn from that.
But if this happened as an adult,
but yeah, and then I do want to say, and the point I wanted to make too is you have to be aware of red flags even in interrelationship dating. So like, we're out in public and you do certain things and it makes you feel a certain type of way, because that issue with if adults who are in relationships or people who have been in relationships for a while and had a couple strong relationships, that was a red flag for other things that I think led to our relationship ending. That at that time I wasn't paying attention to. But it's important that even if you've been with somebody for a year, because I think we had been together for a year or going on a year at that point. Yeah. So even when you've been with someone for a while, you have to be aware of those red flags, and you have to like really think about them and pay attention to those, because you don't know if that could be a deal breaker for you down the road. And that ended up being that case for me, even in that very, very young relationship.
Very true. Very true. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that story.
Thank you for listening.
That was great. Thoroughly enjoyed it. But now we're going to go ahead and jump into another story. So this is actually from one of our listeners. And speaking of high school, this is actually someone I went to high school with, but we haven't talked in like a little bit. Shout out though, girl. I love seeing all your stuff. It's like one of those people from high school. Like, you might not talk to them as much every day or like even at all really, but like you see them on social media, you like to see what they're up to, that they're doing well, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah.
I think everyone's got those kind of friends
Oh
or
yeah, for
even
sure.
just people. This girl's one of those. So I'm so glad that she sent this in. I was surprised, but I'm so happy. So anyway, with that being said, this is her story. So she says, I once met up with an ex that I haven't seen in a long time, and we planned a road trip together. Not gonna lie.
We already all right.
A little bit of a rough start.
We running. This ain't a jog warm up.
We're running.
Yeah, we full flag.
But I'm here for it.
I'm trying to keep tabs
She
on
said-
red flags in the story. That's one.
Right.
That's one.
It started off really great, but then I noticed he was on his phone a lot. So one day, he was messaging someone, and I glanced over and saw he was texting a ton of girls, and even those he wanted to meet up with while we were on our trip. He's talking about meeting up with girls while they're on their trip. Anyway, moving on. We've been drinking that day, so emotions were already pretty high. We got into a huge fight, and to put it in perspective, we were on a giant lookout cliff in California. Oh gosh, okay. He ends up leaving me on that cliff and blocked me from, on everything. I'm from Florida. So he left this girl stranded in California on a lookout cliff and blocked her so she couldn't contact him.
Whoa.
Bro, what kind of date is this besides a date from literal hell? Oh my god.
That took my story times 500. Like
She says, okay, well she's obviously alive because she sent him the story. So she said, thankfully, this couple was there and they drove me to the airport as I was throwing up the whole way there because, again, I was drunk. This poor girl. I got to the airport and threw up in the airport and outside like I was an absolute mess and had no business being alone. I have family in California that ended up picking me up from the airport 3 hours away from their house, so I slept on a bench until they got there. Moral of the story, in all caps, never go back to your exes. Girl, yes, never, ever, ever go back to your ex. Especially your ex. That is crazy.
That's crazy. And you do.
Oh my gosh. It's one thing to get in a fight. It's another to leave somebody stranded somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't even drive her to the airport. Like, if it was that bad of a fight, like, you left her on a lookout cliff in California?
Right.
What do you expect her to do? Like, where's her stuff? Also, too, that's what I'm thinking, too. Where's her stuff? Like, did you guys have a hotel or was it in the car and he left with all of your belongings? Like, obviously you had your phone, but like...
Yeah, we're missing some content.
Did he leave you with all of that? Like,
because I mean, as rude as that is, too, I also would like to know the context of the trip when they planned it. Like, was this we're literally going and taking a long road trip together as a couple? But see, I think that's the main reason, though, why everybody says to not go back to your ex, even if almost in a friendly way, because it's always a question mark of what is this?
Well, and
what is this interaction?
She did say it started off really great. Then she noticed that he was on his phone a lot. So like one day she like kind of glanced over and saw he was texting a bunch of girls and that who he wanted to meet up with on their trip. So it sounds like he obviously was probably on Tinder or something or something to that degree too. Because like obviously if he's not from there either, you're trying to meet up with all these girls. How'd you meet them locally? You know what I'm saying? It's probably like some dating site or dating app. But my thing is just like you don't just leave somebody stranded. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just crazy.
And I'm thinking too, they had to have maybe been having a conversation about rekindling something because it wasn't like a hey, let's go grab something to eat. It's like a whole road trip and that's across the states. You know what I mean? Like so.
And it started off really great. So I think the intentions were obviously maybe there to kind of go on like a more of a couples trip, and then it changed obviously when she saw that he was like talking to all these girls. Yeah. And then, you know, they got drunk, got in a fight, and instead of just taking her to the airport or like taking her home and just not talking the whole way home, which would have been awkward, but she would have gone home. Yeah. You left her in California on a lookout cliff. Right. I'm just dumbfounded. I am dumbfounded.
And I will say too, she did put emphasis on the fact that they were both drunk. So I'm guessing his reaction could have been a drunk reaction, but he didn't come back, or I don't know if he checked up on her.
I'm gonna say this for the pod.
But 3-hour drive from where they live to pick her up, he had plenty of time to
what you do drunk, you thought about sober, okay? There is nothing that, especially while drunk or whatever, there's nothing that yes, it might like bring your inhibitions down. Hold on,
I'm not trying to validate his.
But I'm just going to say,
I'm just saying, like, him leaving her.
Inhibitions down, and you might be more willing or susceptible to do things, but you still have hard stops even when you're drunk. So like he obviously did not even care that he left this girl there, whether he was drunk or not, obviously. So like
that shows how he feels
Screw
about
him.
you and
Yeah, like
where you stand with him.
not even him. That's just like human decency. You just
Oh
don't
yeah,
wanna
for
leave
sure.
somebody stranded.
Well,
That's
there's two things that
crazy.
he showed. Obviously, he doesn't care
Yeah.
about how she feels and he doesn't really care about talking to her or conversating with her at all. Because how did you invite this girl on a road trip or going on a road trip with someone, but you're on your phone the entire time talking and planning up with meeting and hooking up with other girls?
Insane.
That's just crazy. Like that's crazy
Insane.
disrespectful. And then just to leave her there like she's nothing. Like fuck that guy. Like
Yeah,
there's no other way to say that. Like that guy's just fuck that guy. Girl, you dodged the bullet. I don't know why y'all ended, but I'm guessing that
Well,
came
it
back
was a reason
full front
for it. Yeah.
in that argument, and that's what made y'all just. But
yeah.
you dodged the bullet on that one.
We're so glad you're out of that, and we're so glad you made it home and you were safe and hopefully back in Florida.
Yes, shout out to your family.
Yeah, shout out to family.
I don't know how often you talk to your California family, but they looked out, and so please let them know how much what I'm saying you appreciate them because they some real ones.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'll let you go ahead and share yours next. I think what is yours from Reddit?
All right, yes, I have a Reddit horrible Tinder date story, and this was shared by UK Coffee 19. Shout out them. And here we go. I'll just read the story. I, 27 female, recently went on a Tinder date. The guy, 29 male, asked me out and we went to a number of places. He paid for all of this, did not ask me to split, which I would have done happily. We got wasted. He literally begged me to sleep with him, then tried to emotionally manipulate me into giving him a BJ. As he was dropping me home, which he offered to do multiple times. Oh, okay, that kind of went together. Okay. Next day, I told him I don't see this going anywhere, so he sent me a list of things he paid for and to send him the money, which really wasn't much. He said that I only pay for my girlfriend and no one else. I am so furious right now. I just needed to get this out of my system. Thanks for reading. So
wait, so because she refused to sleep with him or give him a blowjob, he sent her like a thing saying that this is how much of the
he sent her an invoice.
He sent her an invoice.
He sent her an invoice. That is directly an invoice. That is when you list the items and the prices and where to be. That is an invoice. He sent her after the date, no sex or sexual favor invoice.
He wanted a rebate.
Oh, succeed to pay her deductible.
Already, but I need some money back.
Oh my god! So let me dissect. Hold on.
Enough. He was like obviously pushing either sex or a blowjob or whatever, but like then after the date was bad too because he sent you an invoice.
The first line of this is where it first gets out of hand, and this is why this story is crazy, but it's not that crazy.
Okay.
I recently went on a Tinder date.
Yeah.
That to me kind of that opens you up to this could be a terrible experience. Think about it. When we think of Tinder as like hookups. Like, Tinder is very much used for hookups. It's not really used for honest dating. Now, has it turned into that? Yeah, but I'm pretty sure all those people that got into relationships from Tinder, can't speak for all of them, but majority of them probably started out with, oh, you're hot. Like,
but that kind of
you happen to think I'm hot too. Let's fuck. Boom. And then, like, I think sometimes the message gets intermixed when you do meet a nice person who's willing to wine and dine you a little bit, even though he obviously had an ulterior motive in mind.
Yeah, but she said that he didn't bring it up till like the end of the night or something, right?
Well, yeah, in his mind, that probably was the gentleman thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Was to wine her and dine her, and then at the end of the night, maybe
to get payback
she
for
would. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, in his mind, like, it's a sleazy, manipulative ass way, but in his mind, he's like, I was a gentleman.
Right now.
I took her out. I paid for all of this.
And
the least that she could do was do all this sexual stuff.
You know what? Here's this. No, I'm gonna squash this. Right?
Fucker's mindset.
If you wanted to pay for a whole date just for her to have sex and know that you were gonna get sex at the end of the night, go hire an escort. You don't have to go through all that. You want an escort? Go get one.
That is, yes.
Moving along. Yeah. If you want an escort, go buy
a fucking
one.
escort.
Okay?
Girl, Fuck
Sorry
that
that
guy.
happened to you.
Yeah, sorry that happened to you. You did not deserve that at
But
all.
PSA, public service announcement to all the boys, because you're not men,
Audacity.
all the boys, okay, that want to take women on dates and expect to get something at the end of the night, go get an escort, because you're obviously not there for the reasons that she's there for.
Period.
And you, like, that. It's not transactional. It's not transactional. Let me hop off before I could go on for another
That, and my thing is, treat a woman like she's a real woman, like she's a grown woman for real. If that's what you want, my guy, be a real man and let that be known up front. And she can tell you yay or nay based off of that. Women understand that, you know what I'm saying? Everybody got their needs.
Yeah, like, I feel
so
like
there is
men-
no reason to take her out and do all of this and then have an expectation for something and she doesn't give it. So now you expect for her to send you back the money for the stuff. First of all, she didn't ask you to pay for her.
That part.
She could have paid for her own meal. You know what I'm saying?
Woman,
Which she said she happily would have split it with you. So if that was a big deal for you, homeboy, like, then you shouldn't have did it, bro. Actually, you really played yourself. You played yourself from the beginning.
And if I were her, I would pay any of that back.
At the end, when you really realized you weren't going to get that in return, and you realized you was a goofy, now you're going to send her an invoice because you feel like, okay, now I want my money back. Nah, your goofy ass need to sit down somewhere, and you don't need to be talking to women, bro, because you don't know how to treat them, and you have no self-respect for yourself or any of these women. So, up yours, bro. You know what I'm saying?
And
we'll move on.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Sorry, that
Short,
was a good one.
but it
I
was
wasn't
good.
expecting that. All right, so this one is gonna make you cringe.
Oh god.
So this is we have some more from our listeners, but I'm gonna go ahead and do my Reddit story because it's a good one.
Yes.
So this is from Missing Lynn X 2424, and it looks like it's in the subreddit Dating Hell.
Woo.
So
Hell date.
The title is First Date from Hell, Insect Trigger Warning. Oh, and I'm sorry. I feel like this is a guy. Yep, this is a guy. Okay.
Spiders.
So he says, went to a girl's house last night for a first date. She just started at my job. Definitely not my type and a bit older than me, but WE? I don't know what that is. I'm too old. Oh, whatever. Thank you. I'm just too old. I just wanted to get laid. So basically said, whatever. I just wanted to get laid. She seemed to be on the same mindset. Talked for a few days, and then I went to her trailer last night. OMG. I could smell the ammonia from the cat piss as soon as I stepped out of the car. I was hoping they just dumped the litter box and went inside. Nope. The whole house smelled like fresh cat piss. It was intolerable. So I walk into the living room and set the pizza I brought on the counter, and that's when I notice the German cockroaches everywhere. One word flashes in my head. Nope.
No.
Hold on, it gets better. Hold on, nope.
I just want to make German cockroaches ain't no regular cockroaches, alright? They big as hell.
Anyway. Well, actually, I think they're the smaller ones, I thought. It doesn't matter. They're roaches. Anyway, I look at her, and she's bent over cleaning up cat shit from the floor. Like, why would you invite anyone over to this shit? Why are you just now cleaning up animal feces when you knew I would be coming over all day? My mind is racing at this point with excuses as to why I need to leave. Eventually I settle on, hey, I forgot something in the car, I'll be right back. So I walk back inside this time, looking around more intently. The walls, floors, and furniture teeming with tiny roaches.
Oh. Gosh.
The furniture too, and you expected to get laid on the furniture that had roaches on it? Oh my god, let me not, sorry. I got in my car and sped off. I sent a text basically saying, hey, I'm sorry, but I just can't handle roaches. Also, I couldn't breathe. Have a good night. She messages back. This is where it gets me. She messages back with, I'm in the process of getting rid of the bugs, and I don't know what smell you're talking about. He says, what? Bullshit. First of all, you don't just get rid of an infestation like that. It's a whole process.
Right.
And if you're at the point where you can't smell the cat piss anymore, then I feel sorry for you and your 15-year-old son who has to live in that filth as well. She asked if we can hang out elsewhere. I haven't given her an answer. It's no, obviously. Now that I've seen how you live, I want literally nothing to do with you. When I got home, I immediately stripped and put all of my clothing into scalding hot water and soap, then sprayed down the inside of my car with cleaner. Traumatizing.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is, first of
Talk
all,
about a date from hell.
I'm sorry. I ain't been on a lot of dates traditionally, but you had me fucked up at cat piss. Ammonia?
I'm actually with you there. If I walk in and it smells bad, I
Hell
can't do
no.
it.
I'm not even gonna go in. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna peek my head. Yeah, I just remember you. You got me fucked up, and I would have just dipped out. Like, I'm not even, and I wouldn't even seen the roaches. I would have just smelt the cat piss. For one, it's hard for me to eat in some people's house that got cats that be all up on the counter and stuff like that, because I'm like, it's bound to be some cat hair somewhere in your food. If you just let your cat be all up on the counter all willy nilly. And you know, and I ain't trying to judge people. You know what I'm saying? If you got a cat, you know that's on you. And I actually got that from one of my line brothers back in the day. Like, it's a funny
just
line.
hygiene.
I can't deal with that. First of all, as a grown adult with a child, like,
Oh, that's another thing too. I read some of the comments, and some people were like, "Yeah, so sorry about your date, man, but also you should call CPS."
yeah,
Because they were like, "How is she having a son living in that?"
yeah, no way a child should be living
Like,
in
they
that
were coming
mess.
for her.
And
They
then
were
you
like,
invited me
"Give
to
us
your
her
house.
name and we'll
The other
call."
half
And I
of
was
it,
like, "Oh my
what the hell do you
gosh."
think about me if you're inviting me over to this and you think you about to sleep with me in this? Like,
Yeah.
and my thing is too, I feel like when it comes down to cleanliness, men would probably be somewhat the most understanding depending on what it is. So
Yeah, because
it
men are technically,
had,
or they're usually just like
because the
more
men will
messy
think
than
with the
women.
second head more than the first one, especially in that kind of regard. I'm meeting you up, we going out. You know what I'm saying? I'm all right. We're going back to the crib. Everybody knows what that means. That is like the universal sign for hey, you know,
Oh,
it might get
Lord.
wicked. So you don't have respect for yourself, your child, or me to bring me over here in this and think that I'm just gonna be okay with it. And then the gaslight me at the end, like it wasn't as bad as I made it seem. Oh, I was working on the roaches. The last place I would have taken somebody I actually gave an F about is to my house if I knew that my house was not up to par.
Right.
That's crazy. And then little roaches and big German roaches, you can't see the little ones all the time. They microscopic. So literally they're crawling all over everything. Like that is a complete
And
roach
that's also a
infestation.
whole
They drinking
bacteria
roaches.
problem.
They eating roaches in that house. They living with roaches. They watching TV with
Oh no.
roaches.
Oh no.
They doing all that with roaches.
I
Like
just got like gross bumps. Not goosebumps, they were gross bumps.
and again, I'm
Sorry,
not,
I got
again, I'm
disgusted.
not gonna spend too much time on it because I mean it's pretty short and self-explanatory of a story, but hell no. Like
Yeah, no.
the fuck?
I could not. I could
No,
not.
no.
I mean, good for him for getting out of there too, not trying to like suck it up and I'm good for you, man. I mean, you made it further than we would have, obviously.
Way further. I wouldn't have been in the house.
Yeah, that was insane.
I wouldn't. And you can't come into my house because the bugs on you. They are on you.
So, our next story, I'm gonna let you read this one. I've seen
Okay.
bits and pieces, but I totally have an opinion on this, and I just need you to read it to make sure I'm not the only one thinking the way I'm thinking. So, this next one,
All right.
this came from one of our listeners, by the way. This came from our listeners.
This
Not a
is-
Reddit story. This is something that happened to someone that we know.
This is titled Veneers Story. Very intrigued by that title already. So, matched on Bumble, went and met at Starbucks. Everything went great. Had a lot in common. He was a gentleman. Got home and I said, I'm going to be transparent with you. Oh, he said this. She said, okay. He said, have you thought about getting veneers? She said, no. He stated, I think with your teeth now, you would look great with them. End of story.
So this man had the audacity to literally ask her, have you thought about getting veneers? And when she says no, you still thought to say, I think with your teeth now you would look great with them. Do y'all know how I would have read this man to pieces? I would have been like, have you ever thought about getting your knees replaced? Because at that height, it's kind of crazy how you're talking to me. Or, gee, I don't know, have you thought about getting a hair transplant? Because with your receding hairline, I don't know where you got the audacity to talk to me like that. I would have come for him. I don't go for people's physical appearances. Let me just put that out right there. But the moment you come for mine, and it is so uncalled for, and after our first date, I'm coming for you and I'm reading you for filth. That's all. That's all. I would have found something, everything.
Like,
The audacity. And okay, I'm gonna put it out there. I know this person that sent this in. She doesn't have messed up teeth. It's not like she's like missing teeth or they're rotting. Like her teeth are perfectly healthy, perfectly like normal teeth. They're straight.
regardless,
Normal teeth.
if she did have fucked up teeth, the audacity, like, I just,
Oh.
like, bitch, be bold. That's what the fuck he did. He was bold as hell, cause I don't, like,
You know what? Bitch, be single then.
right, you feel me? Like, that's, what the?
Hey, bruh,
First of all,
I could not do this dating world right now.
First of all, because I'm the one who tries to see it all the ways around. That's why you saw my array of confused faces, because there is no other way to think about this. I just want to say to this young lady, like, fuck him, bruh. For one, it's hard enough for women out here worrying about their appearance, because let's face it, as men, bro, we can wear sweatpants, line the beard up, maybe have somewhat of a decent haircut, throw a hat on, and we can go out there and maybe meet somebody and be fine. No, girls, women, or not even gonna say girls, I'm gonna say women. Women have to put on makeup every day. They don't have to, but
for it to be socially acceptable, almost.
They do their hair. They have to worry about how they're dressed, how they carry themselves. Sometimes they have to even think about speaking up for themselves and how that might look or how they might come off, which is crazy. But bro, to throw another thing of insecurity. First of all, women have enough insecurities to worry about, and she probably wasn't even worried about her teeth at all.
No,
but you just pointed out another one because again, she just met you, bro. I don't know you. I don't know you from that piece of paper blowing in the wind over there, and you gonna tell. And I'm trying to let you know, like, I had a good time on the date or whatever. And the first thing, not hey, how you doing? I had a great time too. Yeah. Or get into it. Like, no, it's just first thing you say, like, hey, have you thought about veneers? You look great. Like, did you put in a Bumble advertisement, my guy? Like, were you advertising for your veneer company and she just misread the post? Like, that's the only way. That's the only way I can think that in your mind, like,
I'm gonna take your license away and report you to the board. Okay?
You're trying to sell veneers. Like, I get it. Like, but I just.
That was just insane.
Some things you just aren't meant to understand. And maybe that is just one of the things, and he's one of the people we just aren't meant to understand. I almost wish we had, like, that radio show. I can't think of what it's called, but I almost wish we had, like, that second date radio show where we could call in.
Update.
Yes. We could literally call in and straight up have her tell the story. And then, like, maybe we can give him a chance to speak on, even though it's going to be stupid as hell, there's no way to justify it.
Oh, how he could speak on
But it'll be funny as hell just to hear him try. Like, I just want to hear him. Hey, if you're out there, dude friend, and or the young lady who sent the story in, if y'all can get in contact with each other and y'all be willing to do a phone call in the next episode.
I was going to say, hold up.
I would love to get the other side of this.
To the listener that sent this in, if you would like us to call him and ask him why he thought he had the audacity to ask you this question, we will gladly do it to open up our next episode for you and get all the deets.
Please let me call.
Also, again, just shout out to Brooke and Jubal in the morning. I love y'all's videos actually all the time on TikTok. Thanks for this whole ban being lifted because I really missed my second date updates for like 12 hours. Anyway, but I think that's enough with dating stories. Now we are going to jump right into our next segment, which is escape tactics.
Let's do it.
I'm pretty sure everybody has done this once in their life if they've been on a date. But basically, we're talking about how did you get out of a date? Did you leave in the middle? How did you get out? What did you do? So, literally, like 007, okay? Like,
sure.
I'm going to go ahead and let you start because I have a couple of my own that I might put in there as well.
All right. So, this one is titled, Have You Ever Left in the Middle of a Date? If so, why? I told her I was colorblind. She recoiled and said it was gross and sat there looking at me like I had the plague or something. I just sort of got up and left. It was really odd. Edit. I don't think she was racist. It was more of a cripple kind of disgust. I think I don't really know.
Wait. Go back. I'm sorry. So he told her, I think I missed this. Did he say he was colorblind and then she just said like, ew or something?
That's the way he wrote it. He said, I told her I was colorblind. She recoiled and said it was gross.
To be colorblind?
Did she think it was an STD or something? Like,
I really don't think she knows what colorblindness is.
Totally can't tell the difference between hot pink and regular pink. Gross.
Oh my gosh, you don't know your differences between red and green? How dare you?
Now, I will say, if this is
Really
written the
valid,
other way
girl.
around, and the date was going terrible, and like he had a terrible personality, and then he added on top that he was also
and that was like her
colorblind,
way to kind of.
and maybe she just took the straight up bitch way. Oh, I hate to say that, guys, but maybe she took the straight up
No, yeah,
bitchy
bitch
way
way to
out.
get out.
Like, ew, that's gross, weird. You know, like just turn him off and make him not want, to
Just to get out of it.
just to get out of
She
it.
had her own
That's what I'm
escape
thinking.
tactic.
But it sounds like it was written from his perspective.
Yeah.
So, but did he make up being colorblind?
I hope.
But how
I
would
hope-
he
hold
have
on,
known
hold
that
on.
she would perceive it
Straight
like
up, girl, that was not the time to be bitchy about it. Like,
that? No.
to be like, oh, you're colorblind. Anyway, that's insane. Like,
Right. That was
I'm colorblind. Ew. Like,
gross. What's wrong with you? You should really.
what's wrong with you? I'm
You
colorblind.
should get help with that. Like,
Don't you have like special glasses for that?
that's crazy.
That's insane.
What's the next one? I'm intrigued by these. What's the next one?
Okay. So this one actually came in from one of our listeners. Our listeners really did well. So thank you guys for writing into us.
Shout out to them.
Yes, we picked some of we think they were the best ones. This one says, the most BS excuse I used to get out of a date is to have my roommate at the time lie for me that I was sick with a fever. I grabbed a thermometer and put it in hot water so that the temperature would read like a fever. And when the girl that wanted me to take her out called, my roommate answered my phone and told her I was sick with the flu, so the date was off. Karma is a bitch, though, because the following week I legit got sick with the flu.
Oh, dang. That's how it works.
I mean, that was actually a very creative way to get out of the date before it actually happened.
Yeah,
Like,
I think that was very smooth.
yeah, that was
Very
good
Ferris
job.
Bueller's
Good
Day
on
Off.
the thermometer.
Very Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Like,
And really good job with the thermometer, man. That was
straight up. Hey, shout out to the roommate, okay? W roommate. W roommate.
Yeah, no, that was actually great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's sick. You know what this reminds me of is Mean Girls. I'm sick.
Right.
Like,
Oh, and then they hang up the phone. Yeah, he's sick of right. Sick of your ass. Like, sick of your shit.
oh, already. Yeah, no, it's funny.
Sick of pretending I like you.
Really good.
Well, that's like very creative. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Okay.
So very short. Met a girl online. She shows up for our first date drunk with her drunk friend and 1-month-old son, who she had forgotten to mention.
Wait, you said how old?
1-month-old son that she had forgotten to mention. Baby was sober, I think. I excused myself to the restroom and ran like my ass was on fire.
Oh my gosh. Wait,
So I love it
not
from
only
the
she
fact
showed
that
up
it's
to
from
the
a
date,
guy's perspective.
She also showed up with her friend and her son, which she had no idea she had.
No idea.
And they were all drunk. Drunk.
So
And
my
for him
question
to
is,
run,
who
like,
played who? Who played who to
He
get out of the
definitely
date?
got
'Cause she
played.
straight scared him off. Like,
did. No,
she
he
gave no
definitely got played.
fucks.
I'm wondering, that's like a whole thing now is like girls like trying to go on dates just to get like meals paid for, but they have the audacity now to like bring friends and whatever, like her 1-month-old. So she could have been one of those girls that she was literally just trying to come and get like a free meal and then put it in his face like, oh well, it's rude not to pay for my friends too. Like, you know what I'm saying?
True.
Like, which I think is insane that girls are doing this now, but I'm like, she really might have been one of those girls.
Could have been. It could have been a whole test just to see like what type of guy he was, I guess.
Good for you for getting out.
Yeah, good for you for getting out. And I think, like me personally, it would be hard for me to think of a smooth way for a guy to get out of a date like that.
Very true.
And I would say that is a very smooth way. Like just kind of like dismiss yourself to the restroom and like go about you. Which women do all the
I
time.
have to go to the bathroom
that's very
and
creative.
Casper's gonna visit you next.
Right, like just kind of remove yourself from that
ghosting.
situation. I think you saved yourself from a night of very interesting
Yeah.
things. All right.
Yeah. So this next story actually involves me.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah. So even to this day, okay, so my friend, she grew up living with her grandparents, and so whenever she needed to get out of a date, she would just text me or something like 911, or we would have like a little code word and she would just text me the little word, and then I would call her and just be like, I'm so sorry, Grams. But I would literally call her and be like, oh my gosh, I don't know what you're doing. I've been trying to get a hold of you. You need to come home now. Grants fell down the stairs. We're trying to get her up. We called the ambulance.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding you, girl. She literally fell down the stairs. You know, she just got her knee replaced.
Oh, yes, I'm grabbing my things. I am on the way right now. Oh my God, I'm on the way. Okay. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Click. Yes. Like, that's literally how it would go down. She would, oh my gosh, are you for, oh my God, is she okay? Yes, girl, but you need to come home now. Like, I'm like, girl, you need to come home. Like, we're getting her in the ambulance. We're going. Like, you know, she just got her knee replaced. Like, it blew out. Like, she's got a bash on her head. Like, literally, it was the most insane story. And also, the funny part is, there were no stairs. Like, Grant would just fall down the stairs. Like, I can't tell you how many times Grant has fallen down the stairs. She had to come home right now, and like she would have like 5 missed calls. Like, we had a whole plan. Like, I would be like, yeah, make sure you don't answer the first like 2 or 3 at least or whatever, and then like on the 4th one or something, be like, I'm so sorry, my friend's calling me, and like pick up then, because then it looks like it was an emergency and you were ignoring it and that kind of thing.
That's crazy.
So literally, I would call, hang up, call, hang up, call, hang up. So it would just look like I called her a bunch, and then she'd pick up on like the 3rd one where I actually let it ring.
I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to be rude.
Yeah.
My best friend just called me like 5 times. I think I should call her back. Let me just see what's going on.
Yeah. And I always, to make it super dramatic, because I'm that friend, okay? I'm going to go all in, and I can be very loud. So I'm over the phone like, girl, you need to come down here. And I'm like yelling, because then they can hear on the other end. Like, they can hear me yelling through the phone. Like, even if they can't make out what I'm saying, they're like, what the heck is that? You know what I'm saying?
Like, that might scare them off. Like, I'm glad she left, because that was kind of weird. Like,
so that's like our escape story. There was also just
W friendship.
Yes, W friendship. I got my girls back. I'll say there's also another story that was funny too. So we can actually wrap up this kind of episode with this one if you want. This wasn't actually a dating horror story for the guy, and it really wasn't for my friend either, but like in this sense it was really funny. So here's what happened. I'll just get to it. So my friend was coming up and visiting me while I was in college. We weren't in the same area. Obviously, I like moved away for college. And when she came up, she was on a dating app or whatever, just scrolling, just for fun. Like, you know what I'm saying? She was there for me. So she was just scrolling for fun. And a guy asked her if she wanted to go on a date. And I was like, wait, we haven't gotten food yet. Like, hell yeah. Like, why not? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this would be great. Like, and wherever you guys go, I'll just go and I'll eat. Like, I'll be on my own. So it was just really funny. We ended up going to Olive Garden. Shout out Olive Garden. I would love a sponsor because I love your breadsticks and your salad and your Alfredo. Anyway, it's a problem.
Shout out to the OG.
No, I'm playing. But I love Olive Garden. Anyway, so, and she wanted to go to Olive Garden too. And this was kind of like our plan was to go to the Olive Garden. So anyway, we go. And when we get there, I stay in the car for like another like 5 minutes or so, and like she goes in or whatever and gets them seated. And then I was actually there. It was me and my roommate, and my mom was also here too. It was a whole girls' weekend. We go in and we like tell the hostess, we were like, hey, so that girl like just came in, you know, she's about this height, looks this way, came in with a guy, like they're on a date, and we just want to like kind of be over there in the corner, just like. Just kind of like making sure she's good.
What does she say?
But like I was like, you know, like she's with us, really.
What was the waitress's what was her exact response?
Well,
I need her response.
Like, can we get like a seat kind of like near them, but like far enough away that obviously it's like we can't hear them kind of thing. It was so funny. No, it was like literally the best thing. The hostess was like, absolutely, I've been waiting for something like this to happen to me. Like, she was
that is me. I'm here for the drama.
Like, I've been waiting for.
But I would have added in there only if when I come by to bring up.
She would get the drama. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shout out to the OG.
Shout out Olive Garden.
Shout out to the OG hoes.
So then she sits us over. And so how it was set up is like they were sitting here in like a little mini booth, right? And then we were sat literally right here in another little booth, like against the wall. And so we're looking at the date. My friend is on this side seeing us, but the date's on this side where he can't see us, like his back is to us. Yeah. So she can see us the whole time. And so we're at Olive Garden, we're literally just having a meal. And like here and there, she would just look up and be like, like she couldn't. But like, she also sent me signals here and there. She was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, this ain't it. Like, or whatever. And I'm just like, just enjoy your meal, you know? Like, but like, we're just kind of like far away talking. You know how like, best friends, you can kind of like telepathy, you almost talk, like you can talk with your eyes a little bit, or like little like, you know, they get what you're kind of going for. So she wasn't like having a bad time or anything, but she was like, yeah, you know, I'm right here to eat and leave at this point. Like, and she was interested. I want to make that clear. She was interested in the guy, but like, it just obviously the date, the further it went, she was like, nah. So anyway. they get up to leave, or they get the check or whatever, and I saw them getting the check. We were still eating, so like we were nowhere close to leaving, but he thinks obviously she came by herself and drove there, but we were in my car. So she like texted me and she was like, hey, I need to be able to like leave and go get in a car because he's like gonna like walk into my car probably and blah blah blah. And I was like, oh crap, I didn't think about that. She was like, yeah, what are we gonna do? And I was like, go to the bathroom. And so I was like, she went to the bathroom, and then I got home to the bathroom, and I gave her my keys. So then she could, when they went to leave, go to the car, and then she literally sat there for like maybe a couple minutes, let him leave, and then came back in the restaurant. And she filled us in on this date as we were like finishing up and paying and everything. Anyways, long story short, it was the best, no, not the best experience, but it was the most hilarious experience ever.
Right.
And this guy doesn't know it was a horror story, like, because it kind of was for him if he knew what was happening.
Yeah.
But, like, for her, she was just like, it was just so funny. It was like one of once in a lifetime things that, like, you do or something, you know what I'm saying? It was just,
That's great.
it was hilarious.
That's just a great memory to have with the best friend for one.
Yes.
And, like, two, like, just W friends. Like, just W
Yes,
friends
yes.
that are just gonna ride or die for you no matter what the cause is, what the case is.
Yeah.
And I know he probably gonna be telling that story himself because he probably thinking about he probably thought about a couple moments where he was like, so weird. But, you know.
Yeah. But, I mean, like I said, it wasn't really a dating horror story, but, I mean, that was kind of an escape tactic because she had to
Yeah,
leave. And she
very
didn't
much so. Very much so, right.
So she had to go to the bathroom to get them. But yeah, anyway, y'all, thank you so much for joining us on today's episode.
Yes! Episode 3!
Yes, let's go. We really just wanted to kind of bring some laughter to y'all because we've just been getting so many stories and people that have wrote into us. I was like, how can we not just do an episode and just get them out there? And we would love to do more like this in the future as well. So
please keep sending them
yes,
in. Don't
if
stop.
you have stories, if you have things that are happening, you want us to comment, you just want us to whatever. Again, like as you saw, we will keep you anonymous. Besides, you know, if I say like my friend or some of you guys might be able to tell who I'm talking about, it's with permission. You know what I mean? But everybody else was completely anonymous.
100%. If you have ideas, also keep sending in your ideas or things that you might want to see. If you've already sent some ideas in, I promise we have them written down. It's on the list. We got some other things that we're trying to get to, so we will get to it, and we're trying to build segments in on segments. But thank you guys for tuning in.
Yes, we appreciate it so much. Please, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but please, also, if you liked this episode and our previous ones, would love to see future ones. Please don't forget to support us on social media. We would love that. Give us a follow, like, on YouTube, like, subscribe, turn on notifications.
Yes.
Everywhere else, we're everywhere where you want to listen. Literally everywhere. And you can also, again, watch our full episodes on YouTube if you're not already. And you can also get some behind the scenes and clips from on our social medias on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. So we are at Let Me Holla at You.podcast.
Yes.
You know what we look like. It's, you know, in our logo. We would love to see you. Please feel free to DM and email. With that being said, though, we'll go ahead and wrap up. Thank you again so much for joining us on Let Me Holla at You, and we can't wait to see you next time.
Can't wait to holla at you next week.